So now let's talk about the trunk, okay? When you're choosing fabric, try and pick fabric that is trunky looking. I think it makes it a whole lot more fun. And when you find your trunky looking fabric, consider how you're going to make the first cut. In the case of this stripy fabric, it was cut cross grain. You're going to want to cut it 1.5 inches wide and then cut it 1 1/4. So you have this little rectangle for the trunk, all right? And then for the background, you're going to want to cut 2 rectangles that are 2 1/8 by 1.5. Again, they're rectangles. And it would be important to me that the background of the trunk matches the background of the tree. Just an FYI. So when it's time to sew the trunk onto the traditionally pieced tree, you'll find that maybe the tree has veered in. So what you need to do is this. Find the center of the base of the tree by simply folding it, pinching it, just like when you cut it, and center it onto the round trunk, pin it in place, and just do your regular 1/4 inch seam. No big deal. As for foundation paper piecing, you could foundation paper piece the trunk, but why bother? It's just more paper you're going to have to pick out. And you'll see here, it matches absolutely perfectly. Just put it on here, go ahead and sew it end to end. And then you've got this adorable tree. Remember, you're going to have to make 76 trees. The pattern says less, but I'm going to take 4 of the trees and chop off the bottom, and 4 of the trees and chop off the top. You'll note that it is a vertical set, meaning I sewed rows vertically, and then I staggered them, all right? So for the bottom trees that you chop off, you don't even have to put the trunks on, so you can totally cheat it. You'll need 4. You're gonna make the tree body and come down and cut it off at 3 inches. For the top, you're gonna make 4, and you're gonna come up from the bottom and chop off 3 inches. So when you have all of your trees made, let's talk about what I actually do when it's time to sew them together. Again, they're vertical rows, so I will sew, say, this row to this row, but then I make sure when I sew this row on that this lines up with that, and then when I sew this row on, it's that this lines up to that. Make sure that you go to your design wall to put all the blocks up to make sure that you have a pleasing arrangement. I love how the cucumber print comes down on an angle. Things were not just put up willy-nilly. It was very well thought out. So it's time to get busy, and my next lesson is going to be how to cope with these 1 inch finished half square triangles. Yes, they're doable because remember, you are now a 1/4 inch expert, but I'll still give you ways to cheat.